Hello there and welcome back to the Roottrees Are Dead. Now, last time we started this game and I was expecting it to be a detective game based on the crash itself and find out how it happened and why it happened, stuff like that. However, that's not what we got. What we got was a genealogical armchair detective game. We have been tasked by a mysterious stranger to track down and find information on the entire Roottrees family tree. Well, the mainline ones, the little side people are like that aren't blood relatives. They're kind of like extra bits that we can do. However, we've been tasked with tracking down or working out the entire family tree. Now, we did a good little chunk of them. I think we did nine members already, and we kind of worked out some of the more famous ones that have been in the headlines, you know, like actors and media kind of people, stuff like that. Did that in the last episode. Now, what I think I'm going to do this time, I think we're going to focus on the original 5. So we've got the 2 patriarch and matriarch of the family, Elias and not Gwyneth. Anyway, Elias and his wife. I apologize. I'm sure it's Gwyneth or something like that. We've got those 2. They had 5 children, and then obviously they all had children, and obviously all fills down like a family tree does. So when we jumped in kind of like in the middle row of the people that were new. So I think we're going to go with the original 5 this time, because I think we've got a whole bunch of evidence that we need to check that we unlocked right at the end of the last episode. And I think we'll probably have enough information to glean the original 5, which is then going to give us more, I'm hoping going to give us more information about their children to get us the 3rd tier, and then obviously work from the top down. I think it's probably going to be the best way to do it. We're going to go with the original 5. My dear sister did actually send me a little image about, I think I'll put it up somewhere here probably, about cousins, because I don't understand the whole cousin thing. I will free me. I don't really understand. I know first cousin, second cousin, third cousin, stuff like that. I don't understand at all, because I've never really had to deal with it. However, she did send me a lovely image with some information about that we're probably going to end up referencing at some point. So thank you for that. If you have any other tips, sis, by all means, chime in the comment section. I would dearly love to have information and help. I really would, because I think that once we get deeper into the weeds with children and stuff like that, I've no idea how we're going to find a photo of some of these people. Genuinely, I don't know how we're going to find a photo. So, that being said, I'm going to continue rambling. I'm going to stop rambling on right now. We're going to ramble on when we're in the episode proper, because I like to ramble at times. Anyway, that being said, please grab your favourite drinks and snacks, curl up somewhere comfortable, come hang out with me as we jump straight back into the Roottrees Are Dead. Enjoy, guys. Enjoy. Right, so we are back in. We have... Actually, I'm going to check the board first, and we're going to zoom out. So we have the founding members of the Roottrees family, Elias, Gwyneth, I can't remember what I said originally, Gwyneth and Elias. So they married and they had 5 children, like so. So I'm going to focus on these, because we, like I said, we jumped kind of in the middle here with the 3 Roottrees sisters, because they're in the news right now, obviously their father, which then led me to not brother, first cousin. So I'm kind of going to went in the middle. So so I'm going to go back to the top. I'm going to work that one out. However, we need to have a look at this new evidence. So we grabbed this. Okay, this photo is a note attached from your employer. Here's a bonus. When I pulled the water damage picture of the free spirits out of the frame, this fell out too. Written on the back of the photos, couldn't make the reunion, wishing you well from Paris, Gwyn and the boys. So that's Gwyn. Okay. Let's just grab those photos straight away. Gwyn. Okay. These. So this photos are tucked inside an envelope with a letter beneath a candle in the corner of his office. The letter says, "To Carl and Brenda, I'm sorry that you were unable to attend the funeral. It's tradition to have it as soon as possible, and Ernie, more than anyone on earth, knew how busy your job can be. I've enclosed a Shiva candle identical to ours if you'd like to pay your respects, though it's not expected for those outside of the faith to do so." Is that Jewish? Is Shiva candle Jewish faith? I might be entirely wrong on that. I apologise if I am wrong on that. Ernie was a man full of love, not only for his family, but for his family's legacy. An immense amount of pride for the work you three did together, as well as how Carl has carried on for him after taking over. As for myself, it is impossible to express my gratitude enough for rescuing us from the panic and burden of endless bills. Though we caught it too late for him to get on the donor list, the company took care of us beyond our wildest expectations. It went unsaid at the time, but Ernie and I knew it had to have been Carl that convinced the trust, and that it was no coincidence that it happened shortly after your visit, Brenda. Up until the end, Ernie and I had to stay strong, especially for Nicole's sake. We could never have done that without the two of you fighting for us. Much love, Debbie. Okay. We're currently going to come back to this because I'm not really sure how those... I think we're going to actually go for that one as well because we've got that at the top. Right, campaign mail. Vote for Stephanie Jones for City Council. This was buried in a return of other mail that Carl left in his inbox. It had a handwritten note attached that seemed personal. It's a flyer about a candidate for local office, Stephanie Jones, and the back is an excerpt from a newspaper article from the Butler County Times about her campaign. Stephanie may have grown up in an unconventional family, to say the least, but in her words, it was still full of love. And now, 22 years later, with a baby of her own due around Christmas, her message for vote simply is, "Love is our future." That's actually a good message. The handwritten note says, "Carl, I know we don't see eye to eye when it comes to the candy company, but if you could talk to your girls about putting out a statement supporting Stephanie, she could use the publicity your daughters bring. Don't let our conflicts spread to the next generation. DM." Okay, so these are related to Carl. Carl being... where is it? Where are we? I'm going to come back to this. Carl being Carl Roottrees, the 5th president, and your daughters. Talking about the daughters. Okay. We're going to come back to that one. And this one. Whole load of faces, to be fair. Hold on, we should have taken photos of the other faces that I think we'll go back and do that. This photo has a note attached from your employer. Every 20 or so years, the Roottrees would hold a big reunion and recreate an old family photo. This is the one from the 70s. Carl's the teenager in the middle. Carl. Right there. Sorry about the water damage pipe burst in Carl's office. Oh, that's the bit at the top. Around the edges. We're not too bad. On the back of the photo, in childish print writing, it says November. There are also a large number of cursive signatures. They include Bonnie, the next president, Guy Hudson, Ernie Jr., Carolyn, Gwyneth M., Gwendolyn, Miracle Jr., Jim Roottrees, Clark, Carl, and Eli M. Okay. Get all the photos. To be fair, I probably shouldn't have done that quickly. I realised that was a whole lot of flashing images. I apologise for that. There was a lot of photos to take. I apologise for that. I should have left... I'll make sure I leave a little bit of a gap between people because that was very flashy. I apologise. Who else? Oh, photos of these two as well, didn't I? These two. We're just going to take all the photos we can. We got those, didn't we? Yes, we got those ones. I got those. Did get all of those as well, yes. And we got those as well, including that guy at the back. Did we get that guy? Can we get that? We can't get that guy. We can't get that guy. So he might actually be important. Right. So let's go back here. We still have Gwyn Rootree, Red Rootree, and Miracle Jr. left to find online. I mean, we could try those first. However, I'm going to stay on point. We're going to go for the original 5. First 5 children. So we're looking at the 5 pieces. There's an advertisement for 5 pieces aimed at kids from the magazine Teen Blast. Well, actually, do we look up Teen Blast? It mentions that the 5 pieces were named as such because the original creator had 5 children. The ad also mentions that the current 5 flavours are not the same as back then. So we need to find the 5 pieces. Let's have a look at 5 pieces. Do we get anything from here? The marketing materials and various candy history sites, you learn that 5 pieces are iconic candy sold by Roottrees Candy Company. Although they are no longer the company's only popular product, they still sell well to this day. 5 pieces are small, colourful, shell-coated maple candies that since the late 20s have been pressed into the shape of a maple leaf, although they usually have one flavour that looks more like a berry. As tastes have changed over the years, so have the 5 flavours, but the shape in combination with maple have remained consistent. There's also a history of print advertising website that claims to have a 5 pieces advertisement scanned from a book called The Sweet History of Candy Volume 2 by Charles Lee. Okay, there's our link. Unfortunately, when you click through to the website, it seems all the image links are broken. Okay, so let's look up the book. Can we copy that? We can highlight. Oh, okay. All right, nice. Okay, I didn't realize we could do that. Hold on, I want to leave that. Right. So we can use that to add in notes. Okay, that's cool. We're learning the game still. We're learning the features of the computer still. Right, so let's go public library. And I've already forgotten. The Sweet History of Candy. Move that wire out of the way of my keyboard there. Candy, and it was volume 2, and the author was Charles Lee. There we go. Vintage pieces. There we go. Hardcover. History of Advertising Non-Fiction. This is part of a book series about all things candy in the modern world. Starts in 1925 and continues onward to chronicle the rise of mass production and global distribution. The book ends with a look into the future of candy as envisioned by experts in 1985. With the addition of hindsight, you can clearly see they got pretty much everything wrong, which is usually the case, because if going back in time into our 80s, everyone was expecting that, well, in the 50s, everyone was expecting that we'll be having flying cars in 1985. And that didn't happen for obvious reasons. And obviously in 1985, everyone thought that we would have flying cars in 2015, which was 10 years ago, and we still don't have flying cars. Probably for a very good reason, mainly people can't really drive when they're stuck to the road. Do you really think they're going to be able to drive when they're in the air? I don't think so. Anyway, Clues have got pretty much everything on. Clues some print advertisements. You find newspaper ad for 5 pieces from the 1930s added to evidence. Okay, so that's what we wanted. That's going to help us out. No, we don't want that one. Actually, hold on. Shall we? I'm going on a slight tangent here. Can we have a look at Teen Blast? Let's have search Teen Blast. Do we get anything from Spider Search? Team Blast. Oh, new periodical added, Team Blast. Team Blast is a magazine aimed at teenage girls. A website added a new section that offers condolences for the loss of the Roottrees sisters. Their fashion line was often covered by our magazine, and Raina Roottree first appeared on the cover on her 16th birthday. Right, okay. Okay, so we've got that. I don't think that helps us. I think that might have just given us something that we already knew. Right, so this is the original advert. It's a miracle, a modern candy for a modern society. Roottrees 5 pieces contain 5 different maple-infused flavours. The Roottrees are a proud family business, and our flavours are inspired by our children. G is for grape, E is for elderberry, CE is for cinnamon extract, M is for melon, and introducing M for miracle berry. Now, you found this advertisement in the Sweet History of Candy Volume 2 by Charles Lee from 1928, 6 years after the debut of 5 pieces. It states that the flavours are inspired by their children, and their order is grape, elderberry, cinnamon extract, melon, and the newest flavour, miracle berry. Order. It says order, so I'm assuming grape. So G, E, C, E, M, and miracle. Now I know there's a child called Miracle because there's a Miracle Junior in the notables. So there has to be a Miracle if there's a Miracle Junior. So let's go to our board. And it said Miracle was the newest edition. So I'm wondering. Actually, never mind. Hold on. I've just worked something out here. All right. We only have one more notable on here to do. We don't actually. Hold on. It said we've got more than one. Where's the rest of the nut? Hold on. Am I going nuts here? Sorry. So we've got three left on this list. However, I only see one more star. On here. So I thought the notables were marked with a star, unless I'm mistaken. Okay, that's weird. So that I'm going to assume that this is Miracle Junior. Miracle Junior. Which means this has to be Miracle. We can tentatively put these in. Miracle Roottree, because he was the last son, or the last born. So we can tentatively put that in. So I'm assuming if that's Miracle, then obviously that has to be Miracle Junior, which means this one has to be, by default, has to be Miracle the Third. Miracle the Third. Has to be, because obviously there is no. It can't be on this side, can it? Because that's starred, but that's not starred. Anyway, I kind of know what I'm doing, semi. So we can have a look at Miracle Roottree. We can do an additional photo. So can we tentatively put in the rest of these? Who was Lauren Tree's mother? Oh, we'll lock that in as well. Okay, she is correct. I was going to say we need to check her out as well. But that's Marguerite Roottree. So we haven't got Gwyn we've got something wrong with Gwyn. I'm assuming probably the photo. But we're not going to work that one yet. So we can tentatively put in names here, surely, because we've got the miracle on the right. Then it was Gwyn. So if we go into evidence. So Miracle was last. Melon, Marguerite. So CE. Probably going to be better looking at this. CE. E and then G. So CE, we're looking for a... So this one has to be CE. Let's just go down to go manually. So we're looking for Clancy Edward CE. Or do we have any other CEs? I don't think we do. But an EC, because these would all be Roottrees. So I'm going to say Clancy Edward Roottree. CE. So we've got E and we've got G. Hold on, we're in the wrong spot. We're in here. So that's CE. So we've got G. That has to be G. Roottry. So we're Gwyn and we've got Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn Roottry, maybe, for grape. And then this one was, hold on, what was it one? E. So we're looking for another E. Oh, hold on. Roottry. That's still messing me up every time. Right. Edward. Or Elias Jr. That would make a little bit more sense because Elias Jr. is like first generation. Because I don't think you would have an Elias Jr. further down the list. Like if there's no other Eliases. You know what I mean? Because that one, we've got like Elias C and Elias M. Those must be children. They have to be children. And we've got E, Edward Roottry. So who's got to be further down. Clancy Jr. has to be a son of some variety. One of these has to be Clancy Edward, but we don't know what Clancy Jr. I would imagine, because I'm assuming it's a direct generational thing. Right. So let's fill in Miracle, because his chain doesn't seem too deep at this point in time. Doesn't seem too deep. So let's have a look at Miracle Roottry into our search. Miracle Roottry. Oh, Miracles. Okay, we're printing something off. You find a website for the Miracle Network, a production company run by the Miracle Roottry estate. It's quite bare bones, but has the following blurb. Witness the testimonies of the Miracle's Roottry. Miracle Roottry arrived so late in his mother's life that doctor swore he wouldn't survive his first year. His mother and father, Elias and Gwyneth. Oh, nice. Elias and Gwyneth named him Miracle because they thought him impossible. Okay, so that's talking about Miracle. The top of the chain, the last of the 5. Named him Miracle because he thought of him impossible. He was younger than his brothers and sisters by over 14 years. With a birth that late, the final child of his generation was nearly torn apart by countless health problems, but still with the power of God on his side, he persevered. He triumphed over these complications and even regained his sight to spread the healing word of the Almighty. I think I might know the picture of this one. That would make... Hold on, I've just made a connection there in my head. Going to continue reading. 23 years later, Miracle Roottrees Jr. arrived and became the famous family's second vessel for the higher power. At 18, he unburdened himself from the Roottrees name and took his father's testimony to a whole new level. Via the power of television, Miracle Jr. spread the gospel across the entirety of New England. He has since left the life of glamour and glitz behind to reach those places that need it most. The power of the Lord coming to a town near you. Below the blurb is a flyer about the tour which is in your evidence. Thank you. So... it said Miracle was the youngest by 14 years. So that has to be Miracle. Because those are the original 5. And we've got her locked in already. So these guys... so that has to be Miracle right there. So if we go to the tree and we can grab that. And Miracle is this kid right here. And it mentioned the most recent, wasn't it? So he was he was a preacher. Yes. Okay, so I think we've got him. I think we got his job correctly. I'm sure it mentioned that basically if you're doing the job, it's the most recent job. So his last job was a preacher. Because obviously he didn't have a job when he was a kid. So we've got Marguerite. So Clancy Edward Roottree. Elias Jr. I'm going to say that has to be Gwendolyn. So if we pull up the picture again, so that has to be Gwendolyn. I'm going to say that he looks a lot more like Lawrence Derrickson has been little pictures of the family. This picture is famous in the house. Pop even had it frame. That's him on the left. So he's tied to. So he's tied to Lauren. So Lauren is. We had Lauren penciled in, didn't we? Yes. So that okay. That is Clancy Edward, because he's directly tied to Lauren. We'll have her locked in. Nice. Okay, so what's his occupation? So we're going back in here. Angie and I both won before. Okay, since Miracle was in it, but he's the 5 pieces. Also, I'm sure that guy has to be a red herring of some variety, or maybe he's tied like not as a direct family member. Never even took a second for. Okay, so who's there with Aunt Gwendolyn? So that's Gwendolyn. So if he's the original 5, he has to be Elias Roottrees Jr. Correct? So now we just need jobs for all these people. So we know Miracle was a preacher. Marguerite with thingy, which she can be housewife. because it mentioned funny. I know it's gonna, it mentioned funny enough that where is she? One of these who was the first. I can't remember if it was Lauren or Gwyn that was the first. Actually, it might be Gwyn, actually. Hold on. There's bound to be some evidence. Mother's family was called the Cossacks. Lawrence Morgan's generation. Okay, we're just general notes on this. The generation after the Free Spirits. Okay, we can probably search that up as well. That's kind of cool. Right, I'm getting lost in the weeds here because I'm looking for some information. I'm sure it mentions that the... Oh, there we go. Actress, starlet... Starlet tells us Gallivant's Road, kissing likes of Harrison Lane. She basically the actress, first Roottrees woman to be anything other than a housewife, and I'm jealous. So she was the first one. So I'm gonna say, unfortunately, that every woman before, like in this generation, all the women were housewives. So that has to be housewife. So then Elias Jr. Elias. See how that comes up with anything. Elias Roottrees Jr.'s name is listed on a website about historical buildings in Butler County. He is listed alongside an old residence that has been preserved called Hunchetop House. You attempt to find more information about the man and the building but come up empty. Okay, so that didn't come up with... I mean, it already said that, didn't it? You tried to look it up, but it didn't come up to anything. Old residence that's preserved, Hunchetop House. I'm wondering what that... If we go... We'll probably need something for... Let's see, can you just type... Do we have to select? Okay, so we'll have to find a thing for that. And it's not going to be in the library. Right. So we maybe need to find out Hunchetop House. Let's... Where we're at, north. Can we just take that out? It was Elias Jr. Save that note, because that'll remind me later on. I'm gonna end up, I'd say I need to take more notes. Right, so that's probably going to come into play at some point. So let's drop that down. So we need information on Elias Jr. Was he... Now, who was the second... Because he was the first president. Who was the second president out of Elias and Clancy Edward? Oh, no. Grab a photo of that. Ooh, and then we've got Miracle Third. And his wife, Nicole. Okay. Flying for the 3 Generation of Miracles tour. The Flowers a few years old comes from 1996. Named listed are Miracle Jr., who's said to be world famous and gets top billing. I'm assuming that guy. Miracle Jr. is on the notable Roottrees list, and the evidence will mark on the chart with a star. Miracle Roottrees, who the flyer says will make a special appearance. Obviously, that's going to be the older one. Miracle the Third, and his wife Nicole, who are said to be the youth pastors. So that's okay. So we've got three generations of miracles. Nice. So we can infer that he is a preacher as well. And then Miracle the Third was a youth preacher, but also would be classed as a preacher. So 3 generations of preacher. And he has a wife called Nicole. How many Nicoles do we have? Madsen or Smith? We've got a choice of 2. Okay, so we're not going to fill that in right now. And we have Miracle the Third. Wait, who else did we get right? Oh, nice. Okay, so we've got those 3. That works for me. No following entries, because we didn't get his wife in there. Alright, 3 locked in. Miracle Jr. put his photo in. And I don't know who his wife was. And Nicole. Again, we don't know if it's Smith or Madsen. Maybe we could just pick one at random. Actually, let's not. Hold on, let's not, because I don't want to confuse things. Because if I have something filled in, then we're thinking, should we go unknown female? I know if I have something filled in that I'll think, oh, that's correct, and I'll not have to change it. I'll forget about it. So I don't know who his wife was, but he's locked in. So we have 2 more. Do we have any information about the presidents? '87 was him. He was the 5th president. Okay, so in 36, that was Elias Roottrees. So that's the original. Five pieces of do we have any other information about this? So I'm going to assume, I'm going to make an assumption here that in rules of succession, when you're given a company to someone, he's got to be the thing. The presidency would have gone to the firstborn son in that time. We're talking about the 30s here. So basically the company wouldn't have been given to Gwendolyn. It probably would have been given to Elias Jr., being the firstborn son. I'm going to assume correct. So Elias Jr., can we fill in his wife? So the miracles. Because I recognize the tie. It seems to be a family kind of thing. So we don't need that information right now. What else are we looking for? What were we looking for? We came in here looking for something. What was I looking for? Next generation. Okay. Clark. Danielle. Okay, wait. Clark. Danielle. So Clark's her son. Married too young to Danielle. Okay. I'm getting sidetracked. I really am. I'm finding information. Danielle. There's only one Danielle, so that has to be Danielle Franks. I don't think we have a picture of Clark. Or do we? Oh, there we go. Most recent occupation. Rafferty, so they're locked in. Rafferty. So we've got a little bit of extra down here. However, we're getting sidetracked. I'm going to say second, Elias Roottrees Jr. Also, how we're going to find out about this house, Hunchetop House. Is there anything in one of these? Oh, okay. I'm incorrect. I wish I'd been a fly on the wall today. Clancy told me that everyone got quite heated. Grandad was furious none of his sons would take over as president, but that's what he gets for holding on to it so long. With architects, preachers and lawyers, nobody's got time for candy, so with 5 pieces refusing to step up, it came down to us next gens. Pop argued at length that the company should stay with our branch of the family since we still have the Roottrees name, and I'm not even sure Clancy would have wanted it, but he's the one who has volunteered. So Clancy is the second. Okay, I was incorrect. So he wasn't the second president. I'm gonna guess it mentions lawyer. I might be entirely wrong. Dynasty. Because it mentions architect and lawyer. Architect, preachers and lawyers. Wait, hold on. Architect. Who built the... I forgot who built the factory. Eli Jr. designed, so Eli Jr. was an architect. I love it when a plan comes together. Architect. Where are you? I don't know who. I kind of want to fill in who he was married to if we can. I'm going to say lawyer. I mentioned lawyer specifically. There we go. We've got another 3 done. Nice. We're making progress. So we've got the Franks and Danielle. Following optional entry. So we've got those. Oh, Danielle Franks. So we've got another 3. Oh.
It's time for your headlines. Once an hour, every hour, on the 45.
I need to turn this music down as well. Remember off last time.
In the wake of the accident that took his life, some of Carl Roottrees' belongings have apparently gone missing. Most notably, a framed photo of the Roottree family from the mid-1970s that Carl had on his office.
Do we have it? Did someone she broke into his office?
Who would do such a thing and why? For For that article, search online for WRTD News. Again,
Oh, nice.
that's WRTD.
WRTD. I don't mind if I do. Right. Can we... just turn that down very slightly. I remember it was a little bit loud in the last episode. Right. I'm glad we can turn it down back here, and also I can't remember how we'll get back out. Right. More information on that. The new development. No, thank you. WRTD. Let's have a look at this article. WRTD. WRTD News, your local investigative jazz radio station. During their news segments at 45 minutes on the hour, they have been talking about the plane crash. This most recent hour, they also talk about a picture taken from Carl's office after the plane crash and promised an interview online with a psychologist. During the interview, it's revealed there wasn't a break-in. Instead, someone with a key to the office took the picture after discovering the pipes burst due to the recent storm. This means it was likely someone close to the family who was aware of the photo's history and wanted to save it. The psychologist, however, also goes on to posit the culprit had an alternate agenda, specifically because nobody in the family has come forward to say they have it in their possession. A comment below the article says, "Don't believe their lies as just another instance of the Roottrees curse being a real true thing. I bet you Carl was murdered and the picture had evidence on it." Okay. Let's go Roottrees curse. See if that comes up. Give us anything. That does give us something. I don't know if there's going to be information. There's a long rambly conspiracy website with a very small, very red text on black background that says that Roottrees are cursed. It has been very recently updated with the following. Important update. With Carl and Brenda and their girls, that makes 5 new deaths. Not only that, but 3 of the 5 presidents of the Roottrees company have died mysteriously. They say Guy's car was hit by a drunk driver in 1982, but nobody was arrested. Then Ernie Madsen Jr. stepped down. Was he poisoned? Now, just this week, Carl died in a plane crash. This cannot be a coincidence. There's another entry that claims if you connect the dots in the pattern of the 5 pieces of wrapper, it creates a Mayan ruby skull. A secret message meant to subliminally scare people away. I kinda don't buy that. That seems very conspiratorial. The post before that has a link to the site that talks about how Earth has 4 corner, simultaneous 4-day time cubes. The author of the site seems to agree. An entry from a few months ago claims that the owner of the site received an email from Chris Raff 75 at Pedigree US, asking him to take down his site with faked proof that Ernie Madsen Jr. actually had a heart condition and wasn't poisoned. The owner claims that although the proof looks quite credible, he knows that the proof was fake because he's an expert at creating fake evidence. That might actually Ernie Madsen Jr. Madsen's, okay. First entry is from 1996. Okay, I'm gonna highlight that. Ernie Madsen Jr. and heart condition. That's probably I thought that tied into that. Never mind. Right, get rid of that. Had a heart condition, was poison. Only claims all the proof. Okay. First entry from 1996. A blurry picture of the Roottrees Candy Company factory, seemingly taken by the website's author from behind a fence and through some trees. Seems that Operation RT29 is real. I witnessed a helicopter land on February 29th, 1996. Website footer says all images and ideas by Thomas Overwood. So can we search Thomas Overwood? Do you have any connections? Thomas Overwood. Okay. Thomas Overwood seems to have a few different sites about mysterious deaths and curses. In addition to the Roottrees curse website, you also find one about the truth behind Spirit Cola, which claims that Spirit really stands for Satan's Plague is Returning in 2000. Okay. Makes total sense. And that the year 2000, anyone who's drunk Spirit Cola will die. Another website, Stock Markets, and the devil's numbers, which claims that if you multiply any stock's price by 666, then also multiply the current year by that same stock's price, then add those two numbers together and divide the entire total by the stock price and finally subtract the current year, you'll always end up with 666. That's just dumb. Right, so we're not going to go anything for that because I don't think Spirit Cola is tied to the Roottrees at all. So we have done the original 5. So who are we going to dive? Whose link are we going to dive into? Whose chain? Should we look up? We've still got 2. Right, I'm getting hung up on these right here. I think that's the next chain I was going to do. However, I was going to try that one, but I seem to have lost. I've lost somewhere along the line. I don't know if Sam is related to Miracle, because he looks quite young, but older than Miracle Jr. So I'm not entirely sure. However, let's have a look at the other 2 Roottrees that we have to look at. Red Roottree. Let's have a look at red. Right. You find information on the website about strange historical facts. Aloysius Herring Roottree, also known as Red, was Red Herring. I like that. That was a good play. Was an appointed judge and politician who earned his nickname ironically because he was the ambassador to Ireland for only 6 days. He served what some people contend is the shortest term in history. A few days after he was appointed, he was heard disparaging his position and the Irish people, which is, you don't want to disparage the Irish people. They will come for you very, very hard. He then tried to run for state senate. He claimed to be related to the Roottree Candy Company in a newspaper ad, but it came out that the last name was merely a coincidence and he was defeated in a landslide. Okay, where does he fit in? So, Red Roottree ambassador. Served what some people call this short-term history. Okay, so a newspaper ad. So let's go. We don't have a periodical for that one, though, do we? It's not going to be in Business Watch, right? Can we copy that? Search periodicals. Nothing relevant. So we don't have a Business Watch, maybe. Definitely not going to be Starlet and definitely not going to be Teen Blast. And so can we type in highlight it, please? Like, select it, please. Thank you. So that comes up with the same information. Ambassador to Ireland. I don't know how we're going to... Red herring, I like that. Nothing in for Irish. I didn't think it would be as easy as that. So how does that help us out? What information can we get from this? Politician, judge, an appointed judge and a politician. Some kind of shortest term in history, Irish embassy. I don't know how we can type that information in and get anything there, because obviously all we have is the Spanish and the Irish people. What's this? Okay, I don't know how we're going to use this information to get more information. So how are we going to get information? Newspaper. I didn't think it would work. I thought maybe I can find a newspaper periodical. So what would the newspaper be? Right, so let's have a look here. Oh, never mind. Red Roottree, red herring. Okay, so that's filled itself in. All right. So we're done with that. Gwyn Rootree. Okay, so we've got some information, evidence from her. Found some information on a website about old films that are not yet available on VHS. The site's not very well organised and the search is broken, but you can get to individual pages from your search engine. Gwyn Rootree is a somewhat well-known actress who was active in the 1950s. She often appeared in tabloids, especially around the time of a highly publicised divorce. Okay. Her biggest role was the minor hit movie Guys Like Us. She left Hollywood after a flop of Christmas Mission. There's a widely circulated picture of Gwyn from behind the scenes on one of her movies, which you've added to evidence. Okay, so we've got a photo of her. Did you know trivia? Gwyn was the granddaughter of Elias Roottree, the founder of Roottree Candy. She shouldn't have been named Roottree, but her father took her mother's famous name, which was quite rare in those days. That actually helps. So we have Gwyn Rootree. Do we have that locked in? And they've mentioned divorce, granddaughter. So we're in this chain here. Where's this information? This picture. As photos of widely circulated photo of Gwyn Rootree you've seen on multiple websites about old films. And the notable Rootree show marketing unity. So Gwyn Rootree. Oh, we just got the wrong picture here. Gwyn Rootree. That's not her. What was that? I've been stupid. We need to take the photo, don't we? It helps if we took the photo. Gwyn Rootree, actor. Divorce, split up. So who did she marry? Tabloids, especially around the time of a highly publicised divorce. So Guys Like Us. Harrison Lane. Do you know, Trevor, the titles are play on words as it can be read that the two women are men similar to other men, or that the men are fond of them. I think the Harrison Lane was mentioned. twin brother. Wasn't really to no connection with Roottrees. Harrison Lane seems to be a dead end. Okay. Harrison Lane was a television actor with a major role in Guys Like Us. Some other films, the largest role before Guys Like Us was as the villain in the first season of Western Frontiers. Due to the popularity of Guys Like Us, the studio brought Lane back to play the villain's twin brother, this time as a hero joining the protagonist. Oh, that's in the film. Okay, that's not a real life thing. He was brought back to play a twin brother. Harrison Lane married his high school sweetheart after they reunited at a movie premiere. Would Harrison Lane starlet? Often a starlet. Okay, that's cool. Gwen Roottrees was often a starlet. Most mentions were around the time of a divorce in 1958 from Wild Bill Williams. That's it, Wild Bill Williams. So she divorced William. Hold on, we should probably look up. Wild Bill Williams. Okay, we've read all that before. Wild Bill Williams was the lead man from non-notable movies in the 1950s. Appeared in an adventure movie called Fortune Favours the Grave, which is yet to be released to home audiences. Don't find any additional information about that film. Pardon me. He was known for his good looks and off-screen romances, specifically with blondes. He was married 4 different times to 4 different actresses. There was a famous Hollywood rumour that he even approached Marilyn Monroe at a party and that she was already aware of his reputation. Do you know trivia? While Bill grew up in Paris, France, he would return there often. So what's his actual name? Wild Bill. Maybe he's installing it. As who's mentioned, okay. Walter Forsythe. There we go. Wild Bill Williams was mentioned many times throughout the magazine's lifespan, with stories and gossip about who he had been seen with in public. Blondes mostly. 3 specific passages stand out. The first mentions one of his first roles under the real name Walter Forsythe. So that's who we want. Walter Forsythe. So they split up, but are these aren't children? I don't think. I don't understand this because they split up, but did they have children? Second in the interview, although he doesn't mention her by name, you determine from context he's talking about Gwen Roottrees. An apology to all the ladies I'm actually taking. Earlier this year I did a friend a favour. He was directing a war movie and asked me to play a small part. Wouldn't you know it, that son of a bitch cut me from the picture. I'm just ribbing, it wasn't his fault. Apparently the studio didn't want to pay for a star of my calibre. I got the last laugh though. I met someone. She spent most of the film crying. She was playing a soldier's wife. But even through the tears she was incredible. I know I tend to have a reputation, but this one's true love. I only have eyes for her. Ironically, the third is a rumour that his divorce from Gwen was due to multiple affairs, including one with another actress. An American reader on vacation in Paris claims to have overheard Wild Bill and Gwen arguing in public while she was holding a baby and visibly pregnant. Not long after, Gwen announced she was divorcing Wild Bill and also that she was pregnant again, giving this rumour more credibility. So she had 2 children. Okay. How do we find out the name of the children? Okay. So we've got her ready to lock in. So we need... How many of these have we got? We need 2 more. We need 2 more to lock these in. I'd like to lock them in and to get to 18. I want to get to 18 before we head off. So we can either try for more information on the miracles, because we only see the male side, we don't see this side. Don't know who he married. Unless we find Gwyn's children. Because obviously Walter Forsyth, they split up and had 2 kids. But how do we find that information? Right. So can we go with start? Hold on. I can't remember. Did we actually look up? Hold on. Did we read this? Have we read this before? No, we haven't. Okay, we're looking at the history here. We looked up on Spider, but didn't look up her in Starlet. Okay, so we're gonna get some more information here. Hopefully, anyway. Right. Periodicals back into this. Okay, so Gwyn Roottree was often in Starlet. Most mentions were around the time of a divorce from Wild Bill Williams. The gossip is speculative, full of tabloid stereotypes. Some of it focuses on the fact that when she announced her divorce, she also announced she was pregnant again. Obviously, she had 2 kids. Others mentioned that rumours Wild Bill had multiple affairs, which left her heartbroken. There was also an interview from earlier in mid-1957 where she was asked about her last name. She answered, "The power of a name is undeniable. My grandfather constantly preached the importance of family names and honouring them. My father decided to bless me with a famous name. There's nothing wrong with a Cornwall, but Roottree has power. My husband similarly..." I don't know where Cornwall comes into it. "My husband similarly goes by Wild Bill. It's an infamous name he repurposed for himself because he didn't have the benefit of being born with a famous one. But Wild combined with the alliteration Williams is incredibly memorable. Although we've relocated to Paris, I know your readers love to keep up with my husband, so consider this a start exclusive about both of us. Wild Bill and I have a child on the way and we're sticking with Roottree for the last name, not Williams. But we also plan to lean into alliteration. That's how we'll honour both of our family names for the next generation." Okay, what is that? I don't know what she means by lean into alliteration. What's alliteration? Wait. Do I have to use the real internet? Okay. Bear with me a second. I'm gonna look up a little. I know the word, but I can't remember what it means. Would help if I spelt it right, isn't it? Alliteration meaning. Okay. The occurrence of the same letter or sound at the beginning of adjacent or closely connected words. So does that mean... Do I have an example of that? There we go. What is alliteration with an example? Alliteration is a literary device that involves 2 or more words that appear close together and have the same initial stressed consonant syllable. Good grief and red rose are 2 examples. The repeat of sound usually involves the same letters in both words. Oh, okay. So, Roottree. Alright. So if they're going with alliteration, it would be R. Like red root tree and that kind of thing. So what root trees do we have? Robert and Ronald. Are they the only two? Okay. Robert and Ronald root tree. So one, I don't know who's who. But we have a Robert and a Ronald. So those have to be the sons. I'm assuming. However, one of them is married, so I don't know which one it is. So can we look up Ronald Tree? Nothing. Not a damn thing. Who was the other one? Sorry. Robert. Nothing in there. Can we look in periodicals? Because we know that they would probably start it would follow them. Nothing relevant. And then Robert Roottrees. Okay. So we only have names. That's not helping us out. Okay. So evidence. Do we have... We've still got to lock in Gwen. So she is... Where are we? Okay, so this is what we're after here. Gwyn, which is who we're looking for, the sons. During summer, dad blonde, your lucky cousin. Kissing next Harrison Lane by Bill Williams. She's the first root tree woman anything other than a housewife. We've read this before. I'm more jealous if we're not a single mother. Okay, but I'm off topic. Girl with all the luck in the world was jealous of me, and now, though I've been undoubtedly burdened by a terrible tragedy, I'm also lucky to be born into a family that can support me in fraternity. Can raise a child without worry, unlike countless other widows. If any of them hear me complaining, they would right scoff just like I do at Gwyn. Okay, so that didn't give me that much information. So Zach. So it's not, it's Zach, but it's not. Okay, it's Zach. The firstborn son of the firstborn 5-piece. That actually helps me out. So Zach, we need to, I don't know if we can find a picture of him. Where are we going to find a picture of him? Firstborn son of the firstborn 5-piece. So that would be firstborn son of the firstborn thingy. So that is Zach Morden or Wilson? I mean, Zachariah seems to be Gwendolyn Roottrees. Okay. See, I'm getting side again. I'm going on a tangent. Nothing on her. Okay. Do we have... Oh, firstborn son. I can't see if it ever came up that a woman could take over. After all, Angie's older than Zach, and I'm next oldest of us all. But you just laughed. Never get the cuss words properly used when you told Ma it wouldn't go for us. It wouldn't go to us. Mother even ever the quick way, at least with catty remarks. Counting back, maybe they wanted it to go to the only member of the family who looks like he samples the product. Okay. A little bit spicy. Although that actually helps. It looks like he samples the product. So would that be... the fat one? And be the third? I think he's third generation. Okay, does that make sense? Would it be the second? Right, am I thinking there? I'm sure Clancy would have wanted it, or instead it ended up... Okay, I was going to say Clancy would have wanted it. He's the one who was volunteered. So everyone volunteered him. Instead it ended up going to Zach, even though his surname was matched to Candy. So it's definitely not... I think it's okay. So Morden rings a bell. James Morden, maybe. I'm just filling that in because we've got a Zachariah Morden. James, can we have a look at? Let's have a look at Sam Clark complaints. Skim the notes. Head lawyer for the Roottrees. Okay, well, that was the information that we're thinking. Her mother's family was called the Cossels, but she hardly ever mentions them. So that, can we fill in? Cossel. Did I spell that right? Did I type in Cossels? There, did I? I'm going to assume Sarah Cossel is the only one that we've got. Right. So that'll probably get locked in when we lock someone else in. So again, we'll need 2 more people. I'm assuming second president. Oh wait. Sorry. Yeah, okay. First president. Second president. So I think he's correct. I'm assuming that's him, his picture. So we've got 1. Got 2. We need 1 more. And I need to know how... I need to find more information about these. because these are the only two which are illiterate names. So we can get occupation and thingy on these guys. That should lock us in. That should lock us in. I mean, I can go for this one. Right. To the engine. Right. So I've been attempting some digging in order to find Gwyn's sons. It has to be those. It has to be Robert and Ronald. Now I'm trying to think how we're going to get their information. How we're going to get any information about them. And I'm looking through here. And I'm like thinking, oh, you know, like this is all of our search engine history. And I remember I was trying to think where we got Teen Blast from. And I remembered when I was having a bit of a poke around, Rain and Roottrees was married, wasn't it? We saw TMS, and then I think what I did was I typed in TMS. Did I type in TMS? I don't think we searched him. We didn't search for TMS. I'm assuming I just went into here and I just typed in Anyway, Thomas Sheridan is basically locked in as Rain and Roottrees' husband. TMS was mentioned. I can't remember how we got TMS. However, we didn't search TMS up, so I'm wondering if we go TMS, is that going to give us a lead on anything? TMS is a common reference to early 19th novel Tommy Mark Sheridan. Yeah, so that's her, Tommy Sheridan, Raina's husband. First credited role as Thomas Sheridan was on soap opera called Time Marches Onward. Skyrocketed to popularity as a starring role in the sitcom Brother Trouble. Since the end of Brother Trouble, he's often been on the cover of tabloids. I suppose drug use more recently relationship with Rain and Roottrees. So can we look up? I don't know if this is going to lead anywhere. Thomas Sheridan, because he was an actor. So let's look up Brother Trouble. Okay. So I think we're alright, we're back on track. Brother Trouble. Right. Brother Trouble was a 1989 sitcom about two 16-year-old brothers the same age, one adopted, played by Tommy Mark Sheridan, and Dustin Christopher Baker. The single mother, played by stand-up Penelope Tessa Green, often had to navigate her job as a magazine columnist as well as the troubles that come with raising two boys who were extremely competitive in sports, academics, and even romantic pursuit of their next-door neighbour, Roxy. Showrunner was a small-screen director, Ron Roottrees. Okay. Ron Roottrees. Maybe typing in Ronald didn't work. However, Ron Roottrees might be more information. The show had strong ratings throughout the entire season 1, rocking both Sheridan and Baker to instant stardom, mostly amongst the teenage girl demographic. However, it was cancelled in 1981 midway through the second season due to a significant drop-off in ratings. Okay, so let's look up Ron Roottrees. Ron Roottrees. Ron Roottrees is a small screen director and the head of RR Productions. RR Productions. He directed episodes of a few other shows before showrunning and creating the one-season hit Brother Trouble. The show's cancelled partway through. Okay, so that leads us to RR Productions. Defunct production company responsible for Brother Trouble. You find a comment on a Usenet board stating that Brother Trouble ended up being an ironic name considering the rumours about RR Productions, Ron and Robbie Rootree. Okay, so if we type in Robbie Rootree, there's not much relevant information about Robbie Rootree in a comment thread on a message board. What about television cliches? You find a thread called Why Was Brother Trouble cancelled? One user speculates, I think it's because the writing went really downhill in season 2. They actually had an episode where Roxy was addicted to sniffing markers. Another person replied, maybe it's due to the rumour about Robbie Rootree in Silver Screen magazine. There's a link to some kind of article but it appears to be dead. Silver Screen magazine. Could that be an extra? Yeah, that's a periodical, okay. Silver Screen magazine was a Hollywood Insiders magazine focused less on actors and actresses, more about the nitty-gritty of writing, directing, costuming, set design, film promotion, and other elements of filmmaking. Behind the scenes. You should have said behind the scenes stuff. Ran from 1983 to 1993, bought by a bigger, more recognisable magazine a few years ago. Website now redirects to the new magazine. New magazine doesn't appear to have any relevance to your case. Okay, but add it to periodicals. So can we go Silver Screen? Ron Rootree in that. Okay. We'll get some information. There's an article about Ron Rootree from 1984 entitled Don't Blame Nepotism. He Gets Results. After finding some small screen success, first as a director for many soap opera episodes and then stepping in as a showrunner to turn around a few struggling productions, Ron has decided to start his own television production company. Ron was born in the US but grew up in Paris with his once famous mother and his brother Robbie. Okay, so they are connected. He gobbled up American cinema when he could, and when he was old enough returned to Hollywood to attend film school. It brings a special kind of charisma and an eye for unusual shots, particularly when it comes to comedy. Those he's worked with have gone on record as saying he's an attentive director who can work with actors to make sure the timing of a joke lands perfectly. Ron plans to pitch new shows to major television studios as soon as 1986. Until then, he plans to find the right project. He's occasionally called upon his younger brother for script punch-ups and has thought about bringing him into the fold. Okay, so Ron, where? Ron's a director. And Robbie was, you mentioned script, so script writer? Screenwriter. No pictures though. Okay, so let's type in Robbie. Robbie Rootree. Okay, confirmed as a screenwriter. Small Rumours article from 1992 claims that self-taught television screenwriter Robbie Rootree was allegedly tried and convicted under the name Robert in a French court of law. Seems he again allegedly embezzled from the company RR Productions to fuel a gambling habit that left him hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. He then fled to Paris where he grew up, and then Silver Screen continues to insist this is all very much allegedly, assaulted an officer who came to question him. It seems he was a naughty boy. The article also says they were unable to get a statement from French authorities but received information from an anonymous source and were able to confirm through public record that there was a trial involving Robert Rootree around the time that Brother Trouble was cancelled. Okay. So I still need to work out, are those two flipped over? I also need to find photos. Let's type in try Robbie. Robbie Roottrees. Okay, so thinking that one, Ron Roottrees. And we typed in productions, didn't we? Oh, Ron Productions, RR Productions. Okay, where are we going to get photos from? That's what I'm curious about. Because I thought one of these RR Productions maybe you pulled up a site about, you know, an article or something. Hold on. Let's try our productions. Just brings up the same one that we have. Anonymous source confirms the public record. It's a public record. Do we do anything for public records, do we? Nothing on that. All right. So we need to work out which one of them was married. Because that's going to determine things. So we need who he was married to, and we also need we need pictures, basically. One's a screenwriter, Ronald was the director, he was a screenwriter, RR Productions. Okay, how are we going to work out who was married? Okay, so there was another name. I wonder if we can type in Brother Trouble. So we know Tommy Mark Sheridan. We don't know Dustin Christopher Baker. Do you have any? Dustin Christopher Baker, often abbreviated DCB by his teenage fans, since even Brother Trouble has appeared a few straight-to-VHS movies that adapt classic literature to a family audience with minor success. The most popular of which was Jane Eyre, which reimagines the Charlotte Bronte novel as a high school romance with a focus on skateboarding. This doesn't seem to be associated with Roottrees. Okay, so let's go back. Who else we got in here? Stand Up, Penelope Tessa Green. Is it going to make me? Spider Searcher. I keep on forgetting I can do that. Right. Penelope Tessa Green's a retired comedian. There's a search result for the Laughing Lounge Club in Reno that claims Penelope got a start and first did a famously raunchy breast milk cheese routine in the 80s. I wonder if that someone's probably made that, you know. Some real cheese out of breast milk. Routine, that's not any, to be fair, that's not any weirder than making cheese out of cow's milk. It's weirder, it sounds like it should be weirder, but it's probably more okay to make breast milk out of human milk than it is to make it out of another, like, species of milk. I don't know. I don't know why it seems, I don't know why I'm talking about breast milk. Other than breast milk cheese, it spurs a conversation. There's a conversation to be had. Anyway, breast milk cheese routine in the 80s before she was a TV star on Brother Trouble. The site claims she retired for the birth of her first child, but still yearly appearances for fundraisers doing more family-friendly material. Found a picture labelled Joke-O-Lantern 1997, as well as a different picture labelled Jack watching one of his mother's charity sets. Both have been added to evidence. Okay, so we've got two more things here. baby. You found this on a website about a comedy club called The Laugh Lounge. It's a photo titled Joke O'Lantern 1997 and was taken during one of Penelope Tessa Green's fundraisers. Okay, we're probably going to need to have a look at this. Cute kid, actually. Found this on a website about a comedy club called The Laugh Lounge. It was captioned Jack watching one of his mother's charity sets 1984. So Jack's older. Jack. Who we're going to think here? Okay. So who's how's Penelope connected? Joke O'Lantern. Okay, let's can we type in Joke O'Lantern? Rather than type that in, can we just do a spider search on that? Right, the Laugh Lounge Comedy Club hosts several fundraisers throughout the year, but the most famous one seems to be Joke O'Lantern, which happens every Halloween. Comics and patrons are encouraged to wear costumes. It seems the person with the best costume wins a voucher, which can be redeemed for £5 of buffalo wings. The 2-drink minimum and zero tolerance policy for heckling. Every year we tell people not to heckle the comics. Every year someone ends up getting kicked out. Don't do it. Okay, does that help me? Does this actually help me out at all? Are these red herons though? Jack. Okay, can we go and can we have a look at that? Nothing in silver screen. Team Blast, maybe. Penelope mentioned a few articles about Brother Trouble. The show stars TMS DCB played his sons on television. Penelope's character was not really who teenage girls cared about. As a result, there's little gossip surrounding her. Old Hollywood, so she wouldn't be in that one. Okay. Okay, so who is she in the? Is she even in here? Penelope Tessa Green. Okay. Does that mean? Hold on. There was another picture, wasn't there? Gwyn and the boys. Oh, okay. Gwyn and the boys. That actually helps because Gwyn and the boys. Okay, so that does that mean we have photos? So he's in film school, so he looks older as well. So would he be? Because he would be director, it would be in film school. Although would Robert be? And I said the opposite way around. If he's older, then he's more likely to be married. So we have these in the wrong place. Let's go Ronald. And Robert. Swap these two around. director, wasn't it? Screenwriter for him, wasn't it? And swap the photos over. Okay, so alright. We found the last three. I like it. So we've got Gwyn, Roottrees, Robert. So they're locked in now as well. Nice. Locked in a whole extra bit of stuff there. Phone call.
So, you may have heard the news. Some of Carl's things have gone missing. That includes the pictures and mail I brought you earlier. I promise I didn't steal it.
Of course not.
But I did borrow it. I'll return it once we're done. Let me deal with my family in the meantime. Oh, I guess that means I've officially confessed.
So you're a Roottrees.
I'm a Roottrees. I assure you I have a reason.
I mean, strange.
I'm about to do something big the family doesn't approve of.
What might that be? The plot thickens.
If you could just wait a little bit longer, I'll tell you more. In person. I'll return after 15 more blood relatives.
Okay, 15 more, okay. Okay, so apparently I accidentally did Tessa. Okay. Apparently I accidentally guessed that Tessa was married to Ronald. I don't know how we would have worked that one out. I just kind of threw it in there. So that's Tessa Green. So they had 2 children. So I'm going to assume Jack was the older one, wasn't it? Jack Roottrees. And that was him right there. Which means the other one is the baby. His occupation is baby. I was wondering why that was in the mix. So Jack Roottrees, we don't know. What else did we get? We've got to pick something else up. Oh, what's that? Okay, so that didn't help me out down that much. That was just an extra thing. So actually, I think we should probably leave that here. I kind of feel like I want to finish off these two. I'll just check. Do we have a name for the baby? Do we have a name for the baby? I kind of want to fill the name in. See, Jack's the older one, so that has to be him. And go history. We had a look at birth of the first child, retired. Okay, so where can we find the surname? Are we already seen the name? Okay, so I'm getting distracted here again because I kind of want to find this other son's name. Okay, can we just spitball this? I mean, Tessa Roottrees. I don't know if that baby's a boy or a girl. I don't think it does. It says? Does it say? We've got Candy. We've got Edward. We've got Elias M. Christina, November, Samantha, Tessa. It would kind of make sense to, although would that be Tessa Jr.? Does Tessa Jr. work in female names? I don't know if that's an actual thing. I'm going to tentatively put in, oh no, actually we're not because we fell foul for that one as well. Unknown name. I don't know how we're going to work that one out. We need to do a little bit more digging on that one. However, I'm getting distracted because I think we should finish this here. We've made some kind of progress. So we have gotten the original 5, the first 5, they're all locked in. And we have done most of, what's her name? Marguerite's family chain. Don't know who she married. We'll still need to check that out. We'll still need to check out these two. This right here was a complete guess. Purely because, one, I wanted to see if Penelope Tessa Green was in the list of names. I felt it was easier to type it in rather than try and search through the page of evidence that we got, because I don't think you can search that. So I kind of knew she was involved, but I didn't know I should put her in there because I knew she was tied to these two. So I figured if she was in the list, then she may be married to one of these. I don't have any evidence that she was, well, apparently she was married to one of them, to Ronald Roottrees. I don't know where we find that information out, because that was a guess. So we need to finish off next time the name of this baby. Also the gender will probably help. Trying if we can work out the gender, because I can't tell whether it's a male or a female. We know that Jack is there, he's a K-12 student. Because obviously he's a kid. He has to be a student as his occupation. So yeah, most of this is done. So I don't know next time if we want to tackle this chunk, because this is a big chunk, because we need another 15. We need another 15. Sorry, I should be in big me mode right now, to be fair. I'm messing up. So yeah, I don't know if we should tackle, we need an extra 15 people. So I don't know if we need to, if we're going to go through like Edward Clancy's, is it Edward Clancy's? Yes, Edward Clancy's tree. And because that'll fill in a big chunk. Especially like after like Lauren's. That whole huge chunk up here, I think, is going to fill in a major like chunk of people. However, we could also go with the other, try and find the other side of Miracle's like chain, but that's only like 2 people. I don't know. I'm going to decide when we are in the thick of it next time. I may end up doing both, because we've got 15 people to find, so I'm assuming we're going to have to do a lot of digging. Also, I need to remember to search up every single name that we come across in all of the articles, because you never know who's connected to who. That whole Thomas Sheridan thing, I completely forgot that I must have seen Thomas Sheridan in the list, guessed TMS, and didn't follow through on something, because that didn't appear in the search history, unless the search history like isn't a complete one, and it kind of rolls like when you get a new one, it only has a certain number on it. I don't know. I don't remember searching him up, but obviously I guessed his name. He was in there. Anyway, I'm going to leave this here for this episode because we've probably overran and I'm probably going to have to cut this down very much to get into a good size episode. So, thank you all for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. If you have, please let me know in the comment section below. If you are new here, feel free to come hang out, come check out some other stuff that we have going on. We would love to have you here. If you are not new here, welcome back. Thank you again for all support. It is much appreciated. If you want to go above and beyond though, you can opt into the membership stuff. If you grab a tier 1, you get your name up on the wall. If you grab a tier 2, you get a name up here as well. And you get early access to the videos. It's a short early access period at the moment because I've had some real world stuff going on and it's completely screwed my recording schedule, which I'm going to try and get back into some semblance of order. Everything's going crazy in my life right now. No, not everything, but there's enough that's busy going crazy at work that's kind of taken my attention away and time away from recording. And I'm trying to get resettled into some semblance of order, and I'm fighting it. I'm in a fight. With myself, mostly. With myself. So, if you're interested in that, by all means, grab a membership, come hang out, all that jazz. We'll love it. Remember, memberships are always optional. They are never mandatory, and they're always appreciated. And that's not how I normally say it. I've thrown myself off. We're going to roll with it though, because I'm all skizzy today. We're rolling with it. So, also, please remember to be a light in the dark for someone, because you never know when a single act or word of kindness can change someone's day or life for the better, or in ways that you may never understand. Also remember, words have power, so use them wisely. I love you all from the bottom of my heart, and you all know what's coming. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And as always, just see you on the flip side. Bye bye.